Hello everybody, welcome to the Moving Pieces anniversary event here on Facebook Live. My name is Brandon and I go by Strategic, as you probably know. And that was a song called Love Handles. That was a different version of the original song that was recorded. That was the string version, and I was just playing along on the acoustic guitar. So tonight is just a special night for me. 1 year ago I released the Moving Pieces album into the world, and it was quite a process. It was quite a project, and yeah, so we're gonna dive into it a little bit tonight, and I'll share a few songs with you. I'll share some stories, behind the scenes stuff, behind the songs, and all of that goodness is sort of what I have on tap for tonight. So yeah, you can see on the screen there's the PayPal link that I've attached, and so any tips that do come in tonight will receive something. Anything $5 or over will receive a copy of the album. Anything, $1 or $2 or $3 will receive a sticker, a button, a magnet, which I have right here. So yeah, so I just want to get that out of the way as we begin here. Again, that was the song called Love Handles, the string version of it. And yeah, so what I want to do, I guess, to start, besides playing you that song, was I've come up with a drink. I've come up with sort of a cocktail or something that we can. This is my own creation, a recipe that I came up with, and I can share the recipe once this video is over, and if anybody's interested in that. So here we go. You can see what I have here is some Tito's vodka, some Mountain Dew Liberty Brew, some wonderful pomegranate juice, and maraschino cherries. You can also see the rest of my sunroom here. So, what I'll do is I'll just add the little bit of vodka that I have left here, and maybe this is just a better angle for me to do this with you. Okay, so I got my glass. That's ready to go with ice in it. Got the vodka. Pour 2 ounces of that in the bottom. Alright. You can use whatever kind of vodka you prefer. Now this is the special Mountain Dew Liberty Brew that just came out. It's really tasty. And the main reason I'm using this is because it's going to help me get a really purpley color. And so for those of you that don't know, or you can tell just by looking at the album cover that the main color that I used for this Moving Pieces album was purple. And the pomegranate juice is really going to help me get that purple color as well. So I got the 2 ounces of vodka in there. I got the Mountain Dew, the blue Mountain Dew Liberty Brew. I'm going to go with maybe 1 ounce of the pomegranate juice, and I'm going to stir that up. See, I'm getting a nice purpley color here. Then I'm going to grab a cherry, drop that in. A little splash more of the Mountain Dew. Now this, like I said, this is something I just made up. I don't know if it's going to be good or not. So here we go, yeah. Let's get a cherry in there. Alright, so like I said, I'll post the recipe. If this ends up being good, you can try it yourself. And all good celebrations have drinks attached to them, I think. I don't know, maybe that's just a theory, but here we go. It's pretty sweet, but it's pretty good. So there you go. Cheers to 1 year on the album anniversary, the albumversary of Moving Pieces. And thank you for joining me. I got myself set up here for just about an hour, or maybe a little bit less than an hour. And so I guess after making the drink, what I wanted to do was just, I guess, you know, I'll throw it out there. If anybody has any questions or comments, or, you know, just let me know what your favorite song was off the album. But yeah, if I see any questions come in, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And yeah, so I'm just kind of going to go through song by song and just kind of dive into a little bit of the background, a little bit of how they came to be, just behind the songs, behind the album, and all of that. So yeah, so let's get started. The first song on the album was PBFA, which stands for Past Behind Future Ahead. And this was a song that was originally recorded on the Worthwhile EP. And that came out in 2013. I had been thinking about this album idea, and this was kind of like the second song that I thought of. I thought, what if I could make a remix of this song that had an 80s or an older style to it, but also sounded modern or even futuristic. And so what we came up with was, I found this guy online and to do the remix. What he specialized in was a retro wave remix, and so a lot of these songs, they sounded 80s, but they also sounded modern, and that's exactly what I wanted. So through working with this guy, we were able to get a really good remix of Past Behind Future Ahead. But I didn't really want to name it that. I didn't really know what to name it, I guess, at that point. So I definitely wanted to include the retro wave remix part. As you may have seen, I put out a music video for the song. I guess it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, on June 5th. We released the music video for the song. And I worked with my good friend Casey Fuchsia. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's great. He did a really wonderful job on the video. Basically, I time traveled, which was just very fitting for the concept behind the song. And the song talks about being able to move on, being able to live in the moment, and really does a good job of capturing a lot of the ideas behind my songwriting and just my message and my music in general. I'm hoping to get that music video up to past 300 views within a month of releasing it. Yeah, so the second song on the album was From Previous, the piano version. And this was actually the very first song that I conceived and came up with for this album. Was the From Previous piano version. And a couple times playing through this, I sort of had this idea in the back of my mind of you know, maybe this would be really cool to just do a piano version of this song. I thought I could play it live like this a couple times. It just, it kind of, just through playing and figuring out what it was on the piano was really fun and really kind of a revelation for me as far as my piano skills. So it was kind of an exciting thing. It was kind of like, what could become of this? This feels like there's something to this, and it just felt really good. And so I never actually did end up playing it live on the piano, but I'm just going to play a little bit of it for you right now. It's probably easier if I stand up. Can you hear that? I'll turn it up a little bit. Since I played it. So like I said, there was something there that really I guess just made me wonder what that could be and what was next for that song. And then in the very back of my mind thinking, I should record this. I should record a different version of this. And then that also got me thinking that there were a few other songs that could work well for, which leads me to the next song, The Difference. This was very interesting because the way I was playing this song live, I played it a couple different ways in a couple different tempos, and it almost felt like there was a certain version of it, but then there were all these other different versions of it, and I kind of wanted to settle on something, an acoustic version of it, because that's truly what it started as a long time ago, back in my bedroom, was just this simple idea that I was strumming this harmonic chord, and I was going whoa, oh, oh, as so many songs do that. But again, I wanted to come up with, I wanted to settle on a tempo, I wanted to settle on what I was going to do with an acoustic version of The Difference, because it just felt really genuine to treat it that way. And then I also really wanted to incorporate a female voice on the track, which I've always wanted to do that, and believe it or not, before that I hadn't really done. My sister sang on a few songs. She sang on some of the Christmas songs that I put out, but Lydia did a great job, and I'm really happy with how The Difference turned out. And you know, there was a Capo 1 version, there was another version where I tried doing my top string dropping down to D, and then just all these weird versions of it, but this is sort of what was settled on.
Accident, all of my mistakes, they got me down with the right man. Then I found different than all of this. Wondering where to go from. Can't return to the way it was. Won't go back. I won't go back. I'm not who I used to be. Because of you, I'm not who I used to be. See the difference? You changed my life, turned inside out. Made me new, showed my heart what love was all about. And I know now. Realized that I was incomplete. My imperfection, it plagued me. Without you, I tried. And I failed so much. Found something different than all of this. I let you take it from here. Can't return. Won't go back. I won't go back. I'm not who I used to be. Because of you, I'm not who I used to be. See the difference? You changed my life, turned it inside out. You made me new, showed my heart what love was all about. And I know I'm not who I used to be. Because of you, I'm not who I used to be. See the difference? You changed my life, turned it inside out. Made me new, showed my heart what love was all about. And I know
It'd be a lot better if I had Lydia's vocals on there with me. That was just the acoustic version of The Difference, which was track number 3 on Moving Pieces. And that song's been with me for a long time, and a lot of these songs actually were it's sort of a you know, the song was, the album I should say, not the song. The album was kind of a celebration of me doing Strategic for the last 10 years. I did a 10-year anniversary of Strategic tour back in November of 2018, which was when I wanted to release the album. But because of other things and just life happenings, it wasn't released until June of 2019, June 28th. So it really is exactly 1 year, and it really is a celebration of a lot of those songs that I feel like have been sort of my biggest songs. It just sounds weird saying my biggest songs, but songs that have resonated with people that have heard my music and myself, honestly, as well. Yeah, so moving on, track number 4 was the alternate version of Masonry. And so when I was going through these, when I got to Masonry and I knew that I wanted to do something, I knew that I had to do something with it. And so what I wanted to do is basically a stripped down version of it. And then as I was playing through and making preparations for it, it just kind of seemed like and felt like it wanted to be a little bit slower, since it was more of a stripped down version. So that's what came out, and I guess that's what just made sense to do. No electric guitars, very, kind of, the way that we recorded it and played it was less, it was very soft picking. It was very, the drumming was with brushes. It was just sort of a, it's almost like, to me, Masonry is the original song, the original recording is also, it's almost like the walls that are being built up, like I talk about in the song. And then this version is almost like the aftermath portion, which after everything's been broken down and you see that that you didn't need those walls, you see that you're able to live more at peace, and you're able to just be better without those walls that you've built up in your life. And this song just continues to be so relevant to what's going on in the world. It's just one of those songs that I think it speaks to where we are. It speaks to not only that, but I think more so human condition of wanting to protect ourselves, wanting to those walls. I just encourage you to take a look at that. That's really what the song is about. It's about questioning those walls that we've built up, and so that's kind of my thinking behind it, was this stripped down, lesser version of Masonry. It's almost like a two-parter, and that was the second portion of it, the aftermath. And then moving on to the song Can't Go On, which has also been a fairly big song, fairly decent song, a song that is upbeat and people seem to enjoy. I know I have. I've enjoyed playing it. I usually end my set with it. I was thinking about, through the process of this album, what I have to include some live looping. And that was really the song that got me started with live looping. It really, it's got a lot of energy. You can go check out the video. I did so basically what we did with this song is I went into the studio and I set up my loop station, and Rock Garden here in Appleton is where we recorded most of the tracks. And so I told Mark what I wanted to do was I wanted to record the audio and the video at the same time. So I would release the video, and the audio from this would be what would be on the album. Besides mixing it, nothing else was done to it. we just plugged in the loop station, the microphone, and I think we did 3 or 4 takes, maybe 5. And that's what we had. We had the audio, we had the video. It was live looped. It was a lot of fun, and it turned out exactly how I wanted it. I knew that I had to do live looping, and there was really no better choice than to choose that song, Can't Go On. And then moving to number 6, track number 6 is Love Handles, which I played at the start of my live video. I got the idea for this one because there were a few different bands I was listening to, and they had some string quartets. They had some string tributes that were done to their songs on these albums. And I really liked that idea. I really thought that was really cool. It was there's just a certain element to it that is makes it really enjoyable to listen to. And when I was thinking about, okay, how am I going to do this? You know, I don't play strings. What song am I even going to do? And for some reason, I thought about Love Handles. I thought about the violin. I thought about kind of the strings having a romantic kind of sensibility to them, and I just thought Love Handles because it's like this upbeat pop punk song. That would be really like just flipping it on its head, and that would be really cool. Like, how would that even work? So somebody that I knew that they played violin. Mark and Emily Dupere, husband and wife, graciously got together with me. We ran through the song like 2 or 3 times, and they came into the studio and they did 2 takes, maybe 3. I think on the 3rd take they got it, and so they played together into the microphones live in the studio, and we got it in 3 takes, and they did such an amazing job. Yeah, it really turned out really awesome. The next song on the album is called Further, track number 7, and this song was probably the last one that I figured out that I was going to put on the album. And what happened was we started recording, we started doing, I wanted it to sound like it was far away, but then we had this idea that we would start fading the song from the very beginning. So as you motorcycle going by. So as you listen to the song, you know, in the middle of the song, you'll hear that it's half as loud as when it started, and then by the end, it's you almost can't hear it anymore until it really does fade out. So the whole thing is just fading the whole time, and that's really a key thing because. Excuse me. I wanted the songs to conceptually make sense. I wanted each song to be worthy of being on the album. And from what I had gone into the studio with, really was questionable of whether it was worthy enough or not. I know just doing it in a different way isn't necessarily as interesting as it could be, but when we had that idea to fade the whole song, as weird as it is, it really makes sense. It makes sense with what the lyrics are saying, it makes sense with the concept. And getting further away from your past, your mistakes, all the junk, all the bad things, and moving on. That's really what the song's about. And I think just that one thing, to be able to do that to the song, was really what made it. I know it's weird, but it just it really made sense for what it was. All right, so track 8 and track 9. I'm gonna kind of bunch these together as well as track 10 and track 11. The next song, track number 8 on the album, is called Eye of the Storm. And this song originated with my old band. We did a version of it that, so what happened was the band broke up, and I still wanted to use this song, and I actually used a few other ones as well, but I basically changed the whole song from what we had. So what the band had was more like this. Every time I look into your eyes, I see a new surprise. Like skies I'm moving in and clouding my vision. So that was the old version, and the new version is every time I look into your eyes, see a new surprise. Dark skies are moving in, clouding up my vision. So you can see I changed the song quite a bit, and I don't know why. I just felt like I had to change it in order for me to fairly be able to use it with my solo project. I felt like I had to change it. I felt like it was just fair, and also at that time I was working on learning my home studio, learning how to use Pro Tools, learning so much that I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to, as far as starting fresh and moving on, I wanted to give it a facelift and something different, really, to make it my own. And so that's what I did with the song. I released this song and Crash and Burn track number 9 as singles back in 2013, and they never really got released onto any sort of iTunes or any sort of platforms like that. For sale, they never got released. So these were songs from my back catalog that I felt like really deserved a place on an album. And so I brought my home studio mixes into Mark at Rock Garden, and he took them and really made them shine. He really lifted them up. He really gave them the deserving mix and shine that they really needed. I thought at the time. Going into this, I knew I couldn't just slap them on to the end of the album. I knew that in some way they had to be different, and so remixing them, remastering them was really what it took. Mark said that my mixes were decent, and so that was really reaffirming. The only other thing I want to say with Eye of the Storm is I have released 2 videos so far this month in celebration of the album. I'll be releasing another video on Tuesday. So this is my big announcement that I had promised for this live stream, was this video for Eye of the Storm will be coming out on Tuesday, and it's actually a lyric video. It's really cool. It's got some lightning and different aspects to it that it's really cool. So I'm really excited to bring that to you on Tuesday. So stay tuned to the Strategic page on Tuesday night. You can tune in, and I'll post that video for Eye of the Storm. And the next song, Crash and Burn, was like I said, I released it in 2013. I think I actually released Crash and Burn first in March, and I released Eye of the Storm in the summer. This one, I just put out the music video for this song. My daughter Harbor helped me make the video in our backyard during the quarantine or lockdown, whatever you want to call it. We put together all these clips, and she helped me plan it out. We made a bunch of paper airplanes, and we had a lot of fun flying them around. And it's weird, the timing of certain things, because it was just kind of a thing where we were like trying to think of something to do, and I had this idea of making these planes for this music video, and so we just kind of went with it. We made it work. She even got to hold the phone and kind of do some of the filming of that, but put it together all by myself. Learning how to do that was a process. But this song was it was just a song that probably could have been on the Checkmate EP, actually, because both of these were done, and they were ready to go. But I guess what happened was I just didn't have enough time. Just didn't have enough time or money to put these two songs on the Checkmate EP. So I finished them myself and put them out the following year, just as singles online. So I'm glad that I finally got to put them somewhere, that they found a place, and just through getting a facelift was really all it took to remix and remaster them, to get them on this album. Just felt really good. And the last two songs on the Moving Pieces album are Nightlights and Fallback Plan. These are two live versions that were actually from my 2015 album release for Choices We Make. That show was at the Source Public House in Menasha, and Aaron recorded the show, and I just really liked these two songs from the show. They were definitely the best two that were recorded that night, and I did release one of them as just a single that I threw up on Bandcamp one time, but I felt like a big part of what musicians do is their live show and their live experience, and for me, that's been true. Just really, it's really a big part of it. Getting to interact with people, getting to just get out there and share what I've worked on, and be able to present it. It's a big thing. It's big. So I thought that, including these live tracks would be something that could be interesting to people to see. What does he sound like live, or what's it all about? So that's kind of the story behind including the two live tracks at the end. And that's it. That's the whole album. That's sort of the thought process behind, where they came from, and conceptually why they deserve a spot on the album. songs. I think they all do, and I think it makes sense. This project was really a creative stretch for me. It was really something that I felt like I needed to do. I felt like it was just my brain was thinking in a different way, and really wanted to use it as a kind of a pivot point into what's next, into a lot of the new material. I have a lot of new songs, a lot of new material that I've been writing and finishing. You know, nobody really planned on having a lockdown or quarantine, but I think there's going to be a lot of good music that comes out of this time. And I can say I do have a lot that's ready to go. And just through working this project out, Moving Pieces, and also the Christmas album that I put out last year, which I'll touch on that a little bit more in a few minutes, but I have a lot of different styles, a lot of different ideas for what I'm going to be trying, what I'm going to be doing next, and it's really going to be interesting. It's going to be a little different. It's going to be some of the same, rock style, but there's also, you can hear in some of my new songs, there's reggae influence, jazz influence, the instrumental stuff that I've been doing. It's all there, and it's all going to get mixed together moving forward. It was definitely an interesting thing to put out a Reimagined Songs album, because I'm not a big well-known artist. I know that it's a risk, and it was a stretch and a risk for me, but again, I felt like it was important, it was necessary for me to do that, to move forward, just try new things and do things in a different way, because honestly, songs are art, and art is flexible for the most part. How many layers of paint are on a painting? How many tracks are on a song? You take one in, you take one out, you put one back, you put something else in, you mix it up, you do different things, and so that was the whole idea. I've actually done a few other reimagined versions of songs that there's one called Beside Me, and I did an alternate version on my live stream. I've got another one as well, so it's a lot of just experimenting and doing things, but it's important too that I think to keep the bass line of the rock style, which I will do moving forward, the acoustic rock style. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot them out here. We got a couple more minutes. I'm just going to say a few more things to wrap this up, and I think what I'll do is I'll probably play out with the Past, Behind, Future, Ahead song as we end here, but if there are any questions, and again, I'll post the recipe for the drink I made. See, it's a nice little purple drink called the Moving Pieces cocktail, or mocktail, whatever. I just wanted to do something besides music talk for the evening. All right. No questions, no comments. Thank you all for tuning in. Those of you that did, I think we had 3, 4, 5 at one point. I'm seeing 2 right now. Thank you so much. All right, so just a few things to wrap up here. Yeah, I'm gonna be moving on to the next album phase here this summer. Start some recording. Oh, yeah, I did want to mention too the Christmas album, Christmas EP that I released last year was meant to be a full length, and so I'll be finishing that this summer and releasing that this year as a full length. So I've already been back in the studio trying to finish it, and yeah, so Christmas in July, we'll finish it a few weeks from now. Probably release it in November. So that's part of the plan as well for the rest of this year. All right. So, just a few things as we close out here. The video will be wrapping up the full month-long celebration of the Moving Pieces album with a video on Tuesday, a lyric video for the song Eye of the Storm. So stay tuned for that. And let's see here. Got one more thing I'm going to do there. I just want to say thank you again for tuning in. I'll try to post this. I know I got cut off after I made my drink, so this will probably be 2 videos. But I want to leave you tonight with the song Past Behind, Future Ahead. I think that's an appropriate way to end this. Let's see. I thought I had the song right here. One second here. I'll play it. All right. So this is my encouragement to you to live in the moment. And you can go check out the video, the music video on YouTube or Facebook, my Facebook page. There was a PayPal link attached to the first video, and I just wanted to hop back on here, so I didn't attach the link to this one. But it's paypal.me/strategicrock. And any tips on there will get something. If it's $1 or $2 or $3, you'll get a sticker, a button, or magnet. If it's $5 or more, you'll get a copy of the Moving Pieces album. If it's, let's say, you want to tip $20, then I would love to send you a Strategic shirt with the album, even a sticker or whatever. So any tips tonight will go. We'll get some cool Strategic merch. All right, here we go. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you for your support. Let's see, I'm gonna let this play, and that'll be it.
don't always have to understand what is going on. There's no such thing as impossible. Live like there's no tomorrow. Past behind, future ahead. I'm living in the moment. Another breaking dawn, another second gone. Now is the time. I've been saying it for so long. No telling what's ahead, but I will face it. 'Cause whatever it is, I know you brought me here and made it clear. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't always have to understand what is going on. There's no such thing as impossible. Live like there's no tomorrow. Past behind, future ahead. I'm living in the moment. I'm living in the moment. Brought me here and made it clear whether I'm right or wrong. I don't always have to understand what is going on. There's no such thing as impossible. Living like there's no tomorrow. The past behind, the future ahead. I'm living in the moment. There's no such thing as impossible. Living like there's no tomorrow. The past behind, the future ahead. I'm living in the moment. In the moment.
All right, there you go, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for supporting Strategic. This album was so much fun to make and release and put out there and make all the music videos for it. And yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that it was a whole year already since it released. And yeah, but that's it. That's it for tonight. And thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate it so much. Thanks for the support. Have a great night. Bye.